For today's vlog, I was actually considering doing another review of a spell. One of the books I was looking through recently, because I did a previous video on it, was Witchcraft, Theory and Practice by Elia DeAngelis. Now, the funny thing, as I'm looking through this, I've got tons of notes and things that are underlined. So I picked up this book probably back in 2000. It's probably been about 24 years, but over 20 years ago, I picked up this book and I read through it. And of course, I took a whole bunch of notes and stuff. And looking through it, I can see a lot of influence on the way I think about not only witchcraft, but magic as a whole. Now, witchcraft, if you've not seen my video on it, watch my video on the history of modern witchcraft. I've got a lot different opinion of witchcraft in the last 5 years than I did 20 years ago, 24 years ago, or further back. And I've basically come to the realization that what people are doing today is not witchcraft. I mean, yeah, terms change, but it's an amalgamation of different practices. In fact, there's things even in this book that's talking about how to practice witchcraft, and it's got like alchemy symbols in it, and it has the Kabbalah, the tree of life with, you know, Sephiroth. I'm not going to pull it up. That wasn't the point of this video. But either way, as I was looking through this, something stood out to me. So if you own this book, it's on page 87, and it's Ritual Phase 1 to cast a ritual circle. Whenever I talk to people about casting a magic circle, and magic circles actually have their origin root back in a lot of different traditions, including in Judaism. They used to draw salt circles around pregnant women to keep the demon Lilith out, and I do have references for that if you'd like to check this out. But on this page here, it says, what is called in witchcraft a circle is technically not a circle at all. You will cast your circle in a circular fashion, but the circle is actually a spherical force field. Right there, that's that underlined part. I don't know if it's going to focus that well. I have had so many discussions with magic circles with people, and I always talk to them about it being a sphere, and the earth itself is like cutting the sphere in half. So there's like a bubble above and a bubble below. And I am almost positive now, rereading that, I'm like, that's where I got this from. And this is one of the reasons I'm trying to go back through some of my old books and try to find sources and references and start writing things down, because I think it's important when you're having discussions about things to know where things come from, especially if you're going to have discussion with other people. And of course, I'm trying to share with other individuals on a whole. So let me share some references and links. So besides for Witchcraft, Theory and Practice, there's also symbology behind it. You don't always have to know the source and origin of something. I know I love to, but you don't have to make it work for you. If you believe in it and it feels right, just do it. It doesn't matter. If you're practicing on your own, you're beholden to no one. The reason I'm going so nuts here with sources and stuff like this is because I'm talking to an audience. I'm sharing with people on the internet who run across my video. So I think it's my duty to owe you a source that you can check out and analyze for yourself. And that's what I'm going to continue to do as I make videos. What I do personally for my own purposes is my business. But when I'm sharing it with you, I need to give you a little bit more. That's my 2 cents. Yeah, so Jewish birth circles. Let's see. This is a product on Amazon here. So apparently in this book here, there's actually rituals to cast a salt circle to keep the demon Lilith out when giving birth. I don't have a lot of detailed information on it, but this was the book that was suggested to read if I wanted to know more about that particular ritual. And then there's this site here as well, which is wallflowerstudiogarden.com. Take it for what it is, but there's a reference here to what's called Zishiru. Derived from Sumerian, was a defensive measure drawn on the ground around clay figures using flour as part of a Babylonian ritual to thwart evil spirits. This circle also drawn around a sick person's bed to protect them against ghosts, demons, and curses. To me, and this is the tablet, which of course I can't pick up here, this is probably one of the oldest references that I'm aware of to doing like a circle of protection or casting a circle in order to ward off things. And I think that it has a close connection and reference to the way people use circle casting today to do their ceremonies and rituals to contain it. Is it the same thing? No, but I think it's one of the oldest influences and it's related. So I thought it was interesting. And I've talked about, of course, circles before in different videos. It's just because I always talk about it being a sphere, and I think I've said that in other videos, I'm pretty sure this is the source of where I got it from. So I wanted to share that really quick. I thought that would be something fun. Do you use circles at all? If you do, what do you use circles for? I'm kind of curious. And what sort of methods do you go about when you do cast your circles? Because I've heard a ton of different methods, everything from using physical material, whether it be salt or flour or stones to draw out the circle, walking in a circle with your staff, tapping it on the ground. Sometimes you'll invoke the corners when you're doing a ritual sacred space. Sometimes you'll light candles. There's all sorts of different ways of doing it. Tracing it with your hand, tracing it with your athame or your wand if you use those. There's so many different ways to work with circles, and I'm just kind of curious if you do or do not and what your thoughts are on them. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.